You.
Oh boy. Oh, here we go. It's cool. Dallan has all day.
It's the DNVR pregame show for Colorado versus Colorado State.
That's
presented
us.
by Game Time and Coors Light. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code BUFFS, BUFFS. And then shout out Coors Light. You get delivered straight to your door with Instacart. Head on over there. What's up?
Hey, man, we are
What's up?
starting off the show in Boulder, Colorado,
Yep.
at the Champion Center, about to hit the road to Colorado State. But starting, I think, is this the first time we've ever started off the show with a guest already with us?
Maybe.
Could be.
Well, I don't think you can have a better guy than Dallan Hayden to be that guy then. First time ever, Memphis, Tennessee in the house. That's the 901 area code, Dirty
Yes,
Time,
sir.
Memphis,
Yes,
Tennessee, all that.
Yes, sir, for sure, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's just start off with this. How you feeling right now, just physically?
I'm feeling great, just trying to get healthy so I can get back as soon as possible.
And then how do you feel, mentally with everything that's going on, how the week has gone for you?
I mean, I always keep my mental a huge priority, so it's been great, just trying to be positive, look at the positive and not the negative. So I'd say my mental been pretty good.
You said if it were up to you, you would play this week. Is that just kind of like your mindset, the way that you kind of carry yourself?
Yeah, no, that's my mentality, My mentality is I don't ever want to miss a game if it's up to me, but I understand from everyone's perspective, like, to not play me this week. But, yeah, no, if it was up to me, I'd definitely be on the field this week.
We have had a presidential debate. We've had private citizens for the first time ever walk in space. But no one is talking about that. They're talking about Colorado's running game or lack thereof. And what we have here with us, Dallan Hayden. In my mind, I told Dallan this. I had him down preseason as my 1,000-yard guy, and we still got time for that to happen. Dallan, when you guys are in that RB room and I know you guys block out the noise and you work hard every day, but when you hear the rumblings about not running enough or need to be doing this, how do you guys stay tight-knit under Coach Flea and stay a unit in that room?
I mean, we just stick together and try to block out all the noise because no matter what, people are going to have something negative to say in regards to the run game or even this program. So we just try to block everything out and just focus on what we need to focus on to get to where we need to be.
Did you feel like as that game kind of wore on last week, you guys were starting to maybe find a little rhythm, find a little something in that run game, especially coming out of the pistol?
Yeah, for sure. People got to understand, football is like a flow, like the flow of the game. We got behind and we just got off to a pretty bad start, so we were just trying to get back in it. But I felt like we did get the run game going towards the end, so that was a positive. But, I mean, we start fast. Who knows what happens?
And how much confidence do you have in those guys that are in the room with you to kind of carry the load this week? And maybe tell us a little something about, each one of them.
I mean, I'm confident in everyone in that room. They wouldn't be here if they couldn't play, but I know they're going to go out there and get the job done.
Yeah, I think this room has always been set up as kind of running back by committee. You guys have, different styles, different situations, different down the distance, different rhythms that come into play. And so this truly represents an opportunity for some of the other backs with you sitting this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing who makes the most of those, because when you look at what we have and what they have or don't have, that this appears to be the game that we can get the run game going.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure. I know they're going to go out there and do that thing. I ain't even worried about it.
Did you watch this game last year, the Colorado versus Colorado State game? And if so, what was your impression?
I did, actually. I ended up falling asleep. And then I woke back up, and it was overtime. So the game was awesome, great atmosphere, and we got the dub at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about Michael Welch and just, what you've learned from him and what you've seen from him in his freshman season here.
Michael, a dog, man. He going to run. He going to run no matter if it's blocked, if it's a hole, he going to hit it hard. And he'll punish you at the end of the run. So I like his physicality he brings to the game, and he's going to have a good career.
Just with the Travis hit that happened last year and all the fallout from this game last year, what has it been like just building up to it for you guys as a team this year?
I mean, we really didn't focus on that. We just trying to go out there and get a W at the end of the day. We had a good week of practice. And we just want to get that bad loss out our mouth. So a big win this weekend will help that.
Yeah, most mornings, not every morning, but a lot of mornings during the week when I see he already smiling. When I see Dallan at breakfast, I show him his stats from the night before when I had him in the run game. And I'm like, hey, this is what you did last night.
Yes, sir.
When you see yourself on the game or being on this team and seeing other players on the game, how does that motivate y'all internally and externally that, hey, man, I'm that guy for real in real life too?
I mean, it always motivates you because, I want to up my rating on the game, me personally. But, it's just awesome being in the video game I grew up on, because I'm not really a big video game person, but when it comes to video games, that's the one I'd always play, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of messages from people on social media just about how they're going off with you?
Yes. I be having so many DMs from different fans, different people talking about thank you for saving my dynasty and all that. It's awesome.
That's fantastic.
You've been a part of big rivalries, so I kind of along the same lines. But what does this game mean for the team going into this weekend?
It means everything, Rivalry means bragging rights, It means, bragging rights for the state of Colorado. So it's a big game for sure.
College football, Dallan, is interesting in that sacks deduct from the rushing yards. And when you look at some of our rushing stats, as well as during the game or post-game, it really doesn't show like some of the splashes you guys had. Like one particular run, man, I think you had about 16-yarder, and you knocked the hell out of about two people getting that 16.
Yes,
Talk to us about your running style and how it's different from others in the room, and where did you get that style from?
I feel like I'm an every down back. I can catch, block, and run outside and between the tackles. My thing is I take pride in being a downhill runner, a one-cut style back, and always at full speed, and then at the point of attack being as violent as I can, falling forward, getting those extra yards after contact. And I'd say I probably learned that probably from my dad, because watching his game tape, he did the same stuff that I've done. So I'd say my dad for sure.
And I got to tell the folks out there this. We are in the linebacker room, and we were originally going to be in the press conference room, and I was texting with Dallan, told him we moved to the linebacker room. He said, "Where's that?" He just he don't help for the linebackers, man. I avoid them at all costs.
He just runs through them. That's all.
So this is your first time in the linebacker room.
Yes, sir. I didn't even know they had all this in here.
See all that over there? That's designed to stop you, right there in the middle.
I'm already knowing. Coach Harko had them boys right. I'm already knowing.
I love it, man. Well, hey, thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me.
Best of luck with your recovery, and we hope to see you out there soon.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk
Thank you.
soon, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
901 in the house, Memphis, Tennessee. The Dirty Dime.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks, Dallan.
Yes, sir.
There goes Dallan Hayden. Hopefully we get him back next week. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, he's walking good.
He's-
Been at practice, dressed at practice. He's come a long way from the walking boot immediately after the game in Nebraska. I think maybe Sunday or Monday after the game, he was still in the boot. But all this week has been out of it. You saw how he just hopped up. He'll tell you, as he said, he's ready to play and wishes to play, but doctor's orders like one more week. So we'll get him back, and then you got some bye weeks coming up after that. So
Yep.
this team will be healthy when it's needed going into conference.
Exactly. I mean, you gotta focus on the game on Saturday, but in terms of injuries and stuff like that, I think you do have to think about conference play and being more setting yourself up more for the season rather than for just this game tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, and if it weren't for the fact that this team has struggled to run the ball so much to this point, you'd be saying you should be able to run the ball against Colorado with your backup running back, or against Colorado State with your backup running backs.
Yep.
I hope that still remains to be true. But the point remains is if it weren't for the way everything feels right now, especially for the fan base, then you would be saying something along the lines of all right, yeah, let's just make sure we get Dallan healthy for conference play.
Yeah.
And again, that's how it's going to be regardless. But I think you understand what I'm saying, which is Colorado State should be your opportunity to see what you have in some other guys, especially when you're looking to get another guy healthy.
Yep.
Love it. And I think Micah is ready. He's looked good at practice this week. He was out there with the ones, sharing the ones with Charlie Offerdahl back and forth. So this running back room is still confident. that they got enough bodies to get the job done. And I think this is, as I said, out of our week 1, week 2, and now week 3 opponents, this is the one that is favorable to the run game.
Mm-hmm. What have you seen from practice this week out of the running backs who are available for Saturday?
Energy. For the first part of the week, I don't think anyone knew for sure that Dallan would be down.
Yeah.
But you saw a spike in the energy when that was confirmed, that now that this is an opportunity for some people. Mm-hmm. And this is not only an opportunity to show what you got, it's the team needs you because you're down a back and you're down a big back that loves to run and thump people. And, for the fan base out there, the folks like us who cover the team, the Nebraska loss is still kind of like lingering, but you don't get that at practice. Mm-hmm. Like it's really like we lost, we're going to learn from it, we're going to go out and do our thing and do it at a level where the loss is going to be a good thing because it was a wake-up call for us. So each unit out there, but particularly your question of running backs, has really been working hard this week on officially turning that page because you don't turn that page of a loss until you get a win.
Right.
When we talk a lot about, guys, coaches not being able to put on the field what they don't see in practice. Mm-hmm. And then there's the whole conversation of, okay, well, some guys are just gamers. Yeah. And you want to be able to find out. And there's some fans or some media who would say, like, you got to give a guy a chance to see if he's a gamer like that. Okay. And I think a lot of coaches would disagree with that.
Absolutely. I know our head coach would. And we can go ahead.
With that being said, this is the sort of thing that makes that happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When someone goes down, that's how you get your opportunity. Sure. That's how you go and you can prove that. And, a lot of times what happens is a guy balls out in a game because the team was given no option to play him, and then it jumpstarts everything. Yeah. And the coaches say, like, we want to be able to put you out there. We want to be able to keep doing that, but we need you to do X, Y, and Z. And now that the players felt what it feels like to get those carries or those touches on game day, it gives them a whole new perspective.
Man, well said. I totally agree. And I just want to triple down to the fans out there and the listeners, that, programs take on the culture and the leadership of the head coach. And our head coach here, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has been adamant at every level he coached. If I don't see it at practice, the people are not going to see it at the games. You get every opportunity to show what you can do in practice, and the people who show what they can do in practice, that's who gets the opportunity to game. And speaking of, we're joined by somebody who's been showing it at practice, and they got that opportunity to do it in the game. Welcome to the linebacker room. This is your room, bro. You got to welcome us to your room.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Hill-Green is in the house, y'all.
What's it been like just in this room, kind of preparing, trying to put the loss last week behind you guys and move forward?
Just a lot of preparation. You know what I mean? It can either be a lesson or a loss, and we've been trying to make it a lesson. You know what I mean? You see all the plays in the background, a lot of brainstorming, just a lot of soul searching, looking ourselves in the mirror, and just knowing that we got to start fast. That's what we've been preaching all week. We got to start fast, and we really can't wait, to get it going. We got to get it going from the first to the last snap. So that's what we've been preaching.
One of our favorite guys of your teammates is Cam Silman-Craig. And last season, in week 1, he didn't play as much as he wanted to. And in week 2, he came out there and he was an impact player for the defense. And the rest of the season, number 7 was out there on the field with the defense. And I feel like I see some parallels between how this season has started for you. So I'm just curious your perspective on how you felt during week 1, maybe not getting as involved as you wanted to, and how it felt for you in week 2 to be able to get out there and show what you can do.
Ironically, Cam was my host on my official visit. You know what I mean? He was just telling me we need a guy like me in the defensive room, a vocal player and a sideline linebacker. And I really just prepare the same way. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but I really do, whether I'm starting or not starting or whatever the case may be. I'm going to watch my film. I'm going to know who their top guys are because I just love the game. You know what I mean? Why not go to the test and be prepared? You know what I mean? That's what type of person I am. I always want to be prepared. You know what I mean? I'm a competitor. So obviously I want our team to come out with the win. So I'm going to be ready when my number's called, and I always am.
Yeah, you kind of took my question with that answer because I was going to ask you just about that because when I come in and sit in the linebacker room or watch you guys go through your drills at practice, whether it's you or Bentley or JB, whoever it is, you really can't tell which guy is the starter, because everybody's work ethic and attention to detail is the same. And as Coach Hart always tells y'all, and he tells us when he's on the show, sometimes he doesn't know who the starter is. Like, you got to earn that spot through what you do, for the week. He's made it clear coming off the Nebraska game that you'll be back out there again. What does it do for you knowing that you have your position coach's confidence earned?
Just like you said, sometimes when you watch us, you don't know who the starter is. And I have the ultimate respect for all the guys in the room. So for him to give me the task to be the starter and to go out there and get the job done, I don't take it lightly. You know what I mean? I read my keys, I do my job, and it's maximum effort. And yeah, I don't take it lightly at all. Like, I really appreciate that, the way he sees me and that he believes in me, and that just gives me the ultimate confidence to go out and perform.
I mean, we just had Dallan in here. You guys have faced off in one of the biggest rivalries in college football. We got a big one for the state of Colorado here this week. They've said some things. There's some history going way back. There's some history from last year. Just what's been, the motivation for the players going into this one?
Just someone got to feel our pain. The pain of not coming out with the W last week. Someone got to feel our pain, and really just not making it too big. You know what I mean? Rivalries. I'm used to rivalries. Rivalries, they're a big deal. They are what they are, but also we can't let the heat of the moment and the emotion get in the way of the task at hand, and that's getting the W, going in there with a one-track mind, and getting the mission done.
They did say some things this week, and that video surfaced, and I'm obviously not going to ask you to respond to it or anything, but what was your guys' feeling when you see your opponent kind of talking like that?
To me personally, it's a little concerning, like on their part. Like when you talk and we're in your mind 100% of the time, you're worried. There's some type of worry there. So that's just how I feel about that. You're not. It's out of sight, out of mind. If you're talking about something, you're thinking about it. You know what I mean? So we're thinking about winning. That's all we're thinking about. So whether it's them or anyone else, we're thinking about winning the football game. We see them as nameless, faceless players and opponents, and we want to be state champs. So that's what our goal is.
Love it.
Love that.
Real quick follow-up on the idea of just rivalries, and you talked about not letting the passion and the moment get in the way. At the same time, do you feel like there's an extra energy that needs to be brought to a rivalry game, knowing that your opponent is going to come out there, with their hair on fire?
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe you got to bring the energy, but it has to be controlled chaos. It can't be, out of control, too much emotion, burning yourself out. It has to be controlled and just contained until you get to feel the other guy and you get to just hit someone. So just control it until it's time to go.
And speaking of, that controlled rage, controlled chaos, as a linebacker and being the leader in the vocal one out there, with the start this weekend, this team we're facing, they come with a lot of tempo. One of the upsides of tempo is it's a limited number of plays you can do. You're choosing from about 1 of 5 versus 1 of 50 if you huddled up. They love doing some stuff with the tight end, some motion, some eye candy to get the linebacker to move. What have you been focused on, or the room been focusing on from an eye discipline standpoint, to make sure you don't fall for the bait?
That's a good question. So they're going to move as much as they can pre-snap to get us misaligned or get us in the wrong spots or whatever the case may be. But once they take their shot, you got to go. They're going to show it to you for only so long. They're going to show you the eye candy and stuff, but then they got to get to their play. They got to get to where they're going to be. If they're going to throw it out in the perimeter or run the ball, they can only show so much eye candy. So just wait, be patient. It takes a lot of patience. Offenses like this, they bank on you not being patient. They bank on you over-pursuing, over-committing. Just wait for the perfect moment and then shoot your shot. And once they show it, they're not going back on it. So go, shoot your gun.
Hey, man, I tell them all the time out in these streets, I ain't going to show it to you for long now. Got to make a decision.
Nikhai, just for you, the first time we talked to you, that Zoom call, we were just impressed by how much you came off as a leader, and just your maturity as a football player. What has that process been like for you to, kind of solidify yourself as a leader on this team, both on the field and vocally?
Shoot, man, that seems like that was years ago now. But yeah, just proving it to the coaches, the staff, the players that I'm playing with, and my family. Playing for the name on my back. It's really important to me to just keep on getting better each and every day, and not taking this opportunity for granted. Yeah, I really love the game of football. I love the guys and the staff that I work with every day. And, yeah, just showing up early, leaving late, and just really just showing my how grateful I am through my effort. You know what I mean? And, words can only show so much. The effort, that really shows everyone how much you care.
Yeah.
Your partner on the field that you started with last week, Levante Bentley, has been off to just a fantastic start of this season, I think. What have you seen from him, and what does he bring to you guys?
He brings consistency, and he brings a force. Like when he comes and makes a tackle, hits an offensive lineman, you feel him. You know what I mean? And also his voice. We're constantly competing to try to be the best linebacker on the field, but we're helping each other at the same time. We're talking to each other. We're telling each other what plays are coming. We're going to start being louder, letting the whole defense know what plays are coming. But in those loud environments and loud stadiums, it's usually me and him. We're telling each other what the play is. So when we're playing fast and just making plays, it's because we prepared that way. And we do the same thing in practice like Coach always preaches. So, yeah, he's a great player, and I just want us to both keep building and keep getting better every day.
Green, we know you got to get out of here, get ready for that bus ride. But before you go, talk to us about Coach Hilo and how you were able to, if necessary, kind of bridge the gap and help your unit get to know him upon his arrival.
Yeah, Coach Hilo, he's similar to me. He loves football. Me and him, we could watch tape all day together. He's been my coach for a long time, and just meshing here with this defense. Whenever our terminology crosses over between here and Michigan, he always tells me this is our this call, this is our this call. And the other linebackers, they're meshing well with them because they see how much he loves the game, how passionate he is about it, and how he just loves to see his players succeed. Like, he's the first one. You make a tackle, him and Coach Hart, they're the first ones to run out on the field, even though Coach Fromm gets mad at him sometimes. But they'll run out on the field and say,
field, dog.
You
can't do it in the game.
And they'll just tell you, keep going, keep playing like that. But I think he's fitting in really well, and I love to pick him and Coach Hart's brain, every day.
Shout out to Hilo, my first cousin, Ole Miss guy. Anytime you spend any time in Mississippi, me and Pollock are first cousins too. Yep. I got a couple of white cousins. Bro, we appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks,
on
Nikhai.
the DNVR Pregame Show live, and we'll see you up the road. And we know we're gonna get some nice tackles. Maybe I got a pick in your future. I see you get one of them things.
I appreciate that.
Well, as like Coach Prime says, I've seen it at practice, so I believe you're gonna do it in the game.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks,
Good luck
Nikhai.
tomorrow,
Appreciate
man.
you, bro.
Thank you.
All right, let's hit a break. Thanks, man. And then we'll get our next guest up here on the show. Shout out to our friends over at Game Time. You were doing some Game Time recon work this morning. What'd you learn?
Shout out to Game Time for giving me a little opportunity to chirp CSU. I never pass those up. I just went on Game Time to check out the options, and man, is there something else going on in Fort Collins tomorrow?
know.
Because it feels like a lot of their fans are trying to get out of their seats. I think you can get in for what I would say is a good price. Like, this is all in price with fees and everything, $150 to get in for a big game.
Yeah, that's nice.
You don't often see that at Folsom Field. Mm-hmm. So not a long drive. Buff Nation, let's get all these tickets. Let's swoop all these up.
Yep.
We got better jobs than them, so we can afford these.
One says one.
Here we go.
The 151 lowest price on there is knocked down $20 when you sign up with the promo code BUFFS. When you download the Game Time app, it's promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time!
And shout out Coors Light. It's time to chill.
Also, shout out Coors Light. It's the ultimate game day beer, man.
Particularly banquet for Coach Pollock.
My My advice for Buffs fans that are going up to Fort Collins tomorrow is to leave early. That traffic is nightmarish on just like the normalest day.
Yep.
So with definitely a bunch of people making the trek from Denver to Fort Collins tomorrow for this game, I recommend leaving early. So I'm going to leave like noon.
Okay.
And find a place to grab a seat and drink some Coors Lights and watch some football.
Yeah.
So I love Coors Light. You love Coors Light. Football
all
loves
love Coors
Coors
Light.
Light. It's the best thing to have on a game day. And I anticipate myself having a appropriate amount.
Make the
We'll
most.
figure out what that is later.
Make the most out of time if you choose the chill. Choose Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Love it as much as I love our next guest, who at this point I think has reached co-host status. He's no longer
3
a
straight
guest.
weeks.
I know, right?
Welcome
Coach
back.
Michael
turkey.
Pollock,
That's
offensive
right.
analyst for the
That's a
Colorado
turkey.
Buffs. Coach P, talk to us about what you have seen this week coming off Nebraska going into Colorado State.
Well, I think our guys have kind of refocused a little bit after Nebraska and flushed that one pretty quick. In this business, you don't have time to enjoy the wins too much, and you don't have time to complain about the losses too much. You got to move on. And, this is another big rivalry. And, our guys understand the importance of this game. For the guys that were here last year, but the new guys as well. They understand what it's all about, and I think we've had a great week of preparation.
The topic, like among the fan base, is the run game. So, what is the process of you're in season right now,
Right.
going into week 3. What is like the process of trying to make changes like that, so early in the middle of the season, really?
Well, I think it's just attention to detail. I mean, you really, the issue has been, fundamentals. And, there's no magic run scheme out there. You got to maintain your fundamentals. And, our offensive coaches have been doing a great job of trying to, increase the attention to detail for that and just, the desire to finish. And, we just got to, it also takes a commitment to it. And, we had a couple of run periods this week to kind of let's go and let's not even have the option to throw the football. Yeah. This is what we're going to do. Let's just to try to make it a little tougher for us with the scout team coming at us and the twos coming at us with that. So yeah, I think that's toughened us up a little bit, and I think it's definitely helped us clear up some of the issues.
As a coaching staff, in a time like this when you're trying to get something going, how much do you look to what other teams are doing for some inspiration of like ways that you can get things going?
Well, we definitely studied North Dakota State and Nebraska, and in terms of what they did in certain situations, like some short yardage situations that they did, and where they were successful. And of course, we did a lot of that study during the off season as well. Looking at different situations that teams in college and NFL were approaching certain situations in terms of running the football on 3rd and short, 4th and short, things like that. But yeah, then when you just you're always self-evaluating. You're always looking for other ideas somewhere else. I mean, nobody at this point in stage is coming up with unique ideas. They're all borrowing from somebody. Yeah. So, it's a deal where you just got to get in that film room and study it and try to find some little things that can help you.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. And I think coming off of last week, I know I've talked about it with these guys too. We've all changed colors once or twice, but the penalties, and I know you focus on that in the mornings with the team meetings. And let me say this: we haven't been busted for anything you've taught yet.
Right.
So it's working. Everything that you give a presentation on has not been called on us to date.
That's right.
However, first half Nebraska, 7 penalties, 80 yards.
Right.
The end of the story, there were so many penalties calls both ways in the fourth quarter that it looked like the penalties didn't matter much because they had just as many as we did.
Right.
But when you really drill down into that first half, 7 for 80, what's been the focus discipline-wise to clean that up this week?
Well, like I say, just, a renewed focus on attention to detail and making sure we, don't do things that we can avoid. Pre-snap penalties are things that you can avoid. Penalties like getting caught for holding, those are things you can avoid because, a lot of times it's you've let yourself get in a bad situation, bad position when you end up holding. But, like I say, just the pre-snap penalties and just penalties that are, like personal fouls, things that are just stupid. I mean, let's just call them for what they are. They're stupid penalties, and they're a little. I like to call them selfish penalties because it's someone made a selfish decision to do something they knew better to do that hurt the team. So it's just and also one thing that Coach Prime talked about is he's told the coaches, hey, listen, whatever they're showing you is who they are. Yeah, so believe who they are. And if a guy keeps doing the same thing over and over, it's time to get someone else in there.
I'm glad you said that because one of the things the fan base and absolutely love the fans and their energy and their fervor. But there are times they're not privileged to see what you see as a coach because they're not at practice.
Right.
And so the fans will be clamoring for another guy.
That's right.
And that guy has 7 penalties at practice.
Correct.
Well, he's not going into a game.
Listen, man, it's like the guy, we've all seen it. You go after the girl for months and months and you finally get her, and then all of a sudden some other girl walks by and you're like, wait a minute now. I mean, we've seen the meme where the guy's got the girl, he's a real pretty girl, and he's looking back. I mean, fans are that way, and they're always, the backup quarterback's always who they want to see in the game. The backup running back's always better. Unfortunately, if you did a lot of digging, you'd probably find out that kinfolk a lot of times that's out there ask you need to play so-and-so, and if you're going to start digging today, and you'll find out, hey, man, there's a connection here. There's a reason they want to see so-and-so in the game.
Coach, just a lot of talk coming up to this game from the other side. I mean, the offseason, what happened this week, we go back to the Travis hit last year. How excited are the players for another shot to play against this team on Saturday?
Oh, listen, we know what it's all about. Listen, let's don't confuse things here. I think a lot of people in Colorado don't understand. They think because we bring some guys from the outside that aren't from Colorado, didn't grow up here, that these kids don't understand the importance of rivalries. Listen, we're 2-1 in rival games here. Let's don't get that confused. Okay? Yeah, we stumped our toe last week against Nebraska, but if you play a team enough, you're going to eventually lose to them. You know what I mean? That's going to happen. We don't like it and everything, but listen, we understand what's on the line this week. Our kids understand. There's no love lost between these two teams, these two fan bases, and it's when back from where I'm from, they call Georgia and Georgia Tech good old fashioned hate. Well, this is good old fashioned hate. Let me just go and let you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that note, we were just talking to Nikhai about this, about how you can kind of bring the energy to a rivalry game, but not get crazy with it. From my perspective, I kind of felt like Nebraska came in more fired up for that game last week. How, as a team, do you think, and as a coaching staff, do you get your team to bring that level of energy early without also, burning out or getting out of control?
Well, you say they came in more focused or more, fired up or whatever, and that may be true. But I've always said, once it kicks off, all that doesn't matter. We help them stay fired up. Yeah. That's the problem. They, is after kickoff when they went down and scored, and then we threw the pick six and everything, and they're up 14-0 before we can even turn around. And without those things happening, all that pregame stuff don't matter. So it's what happens after kickoff, and different teams go about their business different ways. I think sometimes people misinterpret, emotion, that you got to be hooping and hollering, jumping around. Some kids get prepared, they just stay calm, and when it's time to kick off, they click it, they go. Yeah. And then some kids, they have to get themselves going for the game. It's just, so I think it's from a fan standpoint, I think fans like to look at that and see, a little bit more emotion, but from a coaching standpoint, you know how your kids are, and you know what they've got to do to get ready. And like I say, I think a couple bad things happened to us early, and it kind of got us dug in a hole. But man, I tell you what, you can't deny that our team has heart. I mean, it was bad at halftime, and it could have got a lot worse, but it didn't. Yep. We actually, played a lot better in the second half, and a game that was 28-0 at halftime, that I've been in those situations where it would be 49-56-0 by the end of the game. We made it 28-10 and had a couple more things happen in the second half our way, then it could have been a situation where we actually had the ball with a chance to win. But, it didn't. And there's no excuses. Hats off to Nebraska for the job they did. And, we just got to move on to the next team.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about people showing their energy different ways. Let me tell y'all this. If it's pregame and Shadour's quiet and Travis is dancing, you're in trouble.
That's right.
They have two totally different responses.
Correct.
Shadour goes into just total silence mode. I don't even think the music on the headphones is playing.
Right.
They're just on his head. And Travis is dancing and turning flip. Yeah. It's going to be a long day for somebody. Coach, before you get out of here, because we got to get the buses loading up everything, give us 3 of your keys to victory for the Buffs, whether it's offense or defense.
I think from a team standpoint, I think, this is going to sound real coach and real cliche-ish, but, hey, it's how you win football games. I think we got to start off fast, number one, on both sides of the ball. And I think also we got to, eliminate turnovers and win the turnover battle. And then I think another thing is, just not getting too emotional into the game. Don't let them, I think last year that, some of the pregame antics kind of, for whatever reason, caused the things to go the way they did. And I think you just got to kind of understand, hey, listen, they're going to talk. Let's do our thing, and let's walk more than we talk.
I think it was 27 penalties between the two teams.
Oh yeah, it was a very very ugly game that kept the entire nation up till wee hours into the morning.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck. Appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much.
My bro, see you in a minute, man.
I'd say enjoy the ride up there, but there's nothing enjoyable about it. Just get there safe.
Yeah.
Is that it for your guests?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
Yeah, everybody's headed to the buses, which I got to do myself soon.
Cool. Let's shut
But y'all
up.
keep on keeping on.
Hey, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, don't
No,
go
of
damn
course
well.
not.
Well, till midnight or something. You got to go. To something.
No.
We're sleeping here, bro.
You should. Hey, stay for dinner. Because dinner's gonna open up about 4:35. You might as well get you a
And the
plate
team
or two.
won't be here for that. Someone's got to eat all that food.
And who better than Jake?
Exactly.
Soccer team's not putting it all down.
Hey, you know what? Them girls can eat, man.
I believe it.
Oh my God,
They're
I was
burning
impressed.
hella calories.
I was impressed. Jake, you got something? I know it.
Yes, I do. Shout out to our good friends over at Sleeper, the best fantasy app out there. Tons of customizable options. You can import your league settings from other platforms if you want to switch over. All kinds of cool stuff. And if you're in one of the 25 states, you can sign up with the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, and get a $100 match on your first deposit. They got a bunch of picks and stuff up there. Anytime
So
touchdowns, more or less receiver yards, quarterback yards, rushing yards. Tons of stuff, man. It's a sick app. So check it out. It's currently operational in over 25 states. Shout out Sleeper.
Also,
Red Hawk Roofing.
shout out to Red Hawk Roofing. Now that we're done with Red for a while, I feel even better about the folks over at Red Hawk Roofing. And the truth is, they're the best at what they do. Mm-hmm. So, I'd like it. Maybe we'll call them Gold Hawk Roofing here. But they're the best at what they do. So if you've had any hail damage or you just feel like it's time to put a new roof over your head, hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. They've been supporting us for a while because they are diehard Colorado sports fans, which we love. And supporting local teams is just like supporting local businesses, and that's what they are. So hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Call 720-771-8921 and tell them DNVR sent you.
All right. Since Neely's got to go here soon, we're going to do our picks. And this segment is presented by our friends over at Sleeper. It's the same drill. Prime players, offensive, defensive, sleeper of the game. Who wants to start? We'll start on offense.
You guys start. I'm trying to get our sleeper numbers up here. I just want to see what we're working with this week.
Okay.
I almost read our case. I'll go on offense because, again, I believe the ball is going to move around week to week, and I believe this guy is coming to a rhythm, is certainly coming to a rhythm in practice. I'm going with Will Shepard, number 14 on offense. This guy is going to have a standout game at Fort Collins.
Will Shepard's line over at Sleeper, if you're in one of the 25 states where you can get in on sleeper picks, 47.5 receiving yards.
It's time.
He almost got all that in one play last week.
Yep.
I'll go next. You and I have the same one, actually.
And we do these all
not.
separately.
Yes, and I made sure.
I
'cause
believe you.
Asked you guys over text today. I made sure I did mine first before I asked. I picked Jimmy Horn Jr. though.
Yeah.
Last year, I mean, he really found himself, I think, in this game. You know, the pep talk from Coach Prime right before that legendary 98-yard drive by Shador in the offense. Jimmy just turned it on in this game. We saw it in week 1. The whole offense kind of fell off last week, but I think Jimmy's going to bounce back in a big way.
And to underscore that for you, to support your choice and RK's choice, Jimmy's birthday was yesterday,
Yep.
and Coach Prime said for his birthday, we're going to get him a win and 100-plus yards.
Yep,
Great
love it.
pick, Jake and RK.
Jake should have known that this was off limits because I was wearing my Jimmy Horn Jr.
I did not know
shirt
you were
today.
wearing the Jimmy Horn Jr. shirt today.
Just once you saw it, you should have changed. Stealing my thunder, but
Technically, I had the pick first.
all right. Fair. Well, I don't know you were probably asleep when I picked
No.
this shirt out of my closet this morning.
I sent Alyssa my
He was
picks.
in your closet and handed it to you. He was like, where it is.
I sent Alyssa my picks at 9:45 in the morning.
Oh yeah, bro. I was
Neely's came in at 9:49. Yours didn't come in till 10:10.
So he copied off you.
Well, yeah, because I was out driving around, but I had already left the house with this shirt on around
All right, fair.
9:15.
Sure.
Anyways,
Sure.
Jimmy Horn is a mismatch in this game.
Yep.
I mean, don't get it twisted. We have a lot of them. All of the wide receivers should be a mismatch in this game. But go back to the North Dakota State game, and you'll see that Jimmy Horn presented a problem, and the way that he is used in this offense presented a problem for North Dakota State from an athleticism and speed standpoint that they could not match up with. And because of that, Jimmy was used in several different ways and caused them several different problems. There's absolutely no reason why this offense and Pat Shurmur shouldn't go back to all of that stuff that was working against North Dakota State. You know, maybe they're not going to hit a long, deep post against cover 2 like they did, but especially a lot of the stuff working Jimmy into the flats. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jimmy Horn on a jet sweep in this game to help,
nice.
move those linebackers around, open up, maybe even a lot of jet motion from him where he's not getting the ball is fine with me as well. Orbit, all that stuff. This is an opportunity to use a player that Colorado State just doesn't have anyone like that on defense. And so I think based off of what I've seen, this is an awesome opportunity. Jimmy's line over at Sleeper, over or more or less than 65.5 receiving yards. I will take the more on that.
We don't pick Travis and Shador, but I think that they're in for monster bounce back games as well.
Absolutely. We're going to have to start doing.
And Travis isn't even a bounce back. He had 10 for
We're
110
going to
last
start
week.
doing Travis, Shador, Jimmy, and a couple others like they do on Wheel of Fortune where they give you some letters. Like they give you RST, LNE.
Oh, yeah.
Like now pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're just going to run out of guys, though, because there's a lot of dudes on this team. Travis's number and Shador's number over at Sleeper Picks. Travis, 98.5. 3 in a row, by the way. 3 in a row with over 100. And Shador, 322.5.
Nice.
Love it. Defensive
Nice.
player. Go ahead, Al.
All right, Block Bully is down, nursing the shoulder, so I'm picking someone from the D line because we got to be disruptive. I want to see us get some tackles for losses, running backs in the backfield. I want to see us make that quarterback move around and get some sacks. So I'm going with my guy, 99 problems, but ain't one. Give me Shane Cokes from the D line.
He's been balling.
He has been, man, and it's one of those things where some of what he's been doing out there the past 2 weeks don't equate to a box score check, but he has been disruptive, man.
Yep. He's been really close to having some TFLs. too.
Yeah. So I'm going Shane Cokes.
I went with DJ McKinney.
Nice.
I wanted to pick Travis just because I think that it didn't happen last week. But BFN's a different beast, and I think he will try Travis. But with that, I think they're just going to go downfield often. DJ had a great game last week. I think he's going to build on that and actually get some production on the football, maybe a pick. So
Love it. I kind of just wanted to go back to the well and pick Cam again. He is going to ball out. I forgot also until we were driving up here that he had a pick in this game last year as well.
He did. He did.
So I was really close, but I felt like you guys would give me shit for that. So
no, you actually would have been okay.
okay, all right. Well, I'm still going to take.
I'm gonna give him shit.
I'm still going to take Levante Bentley in this one, man. Again, kind of going back to what I've already seen and just counting on it. And Nikhai said it, consistency. This is a guy who just plays hard on every single play. And another guy who should match up well against this team. They're going to play into his style of play, not away from it. And so, a lot of the time last year when people had issues with Levante is against teams like USC, who are spreading you all the way out.
RPOing you to death. Yeah,
exactly. Like this is not exactly the way that, and they are going to spread it out. They're an air raid team, but they're also going to try to run the ball. And that's kind of the thing they've done best so far this season is run the ball. So I think Levante's going to be able to help erase that.
Sleeper, who you got, Unc?
I'm going to go defense on the sleeper, and I'm going to tell you why, because it parlays into everything you guys just been saying. I believe at the linebacker level and at the corner/safety level, we're going to get some picks tomorrow. This team wants to throw the ball. They're going to come out in 11 personnel. And no matter what they do run-wise, they want to run the ball.
Yep.
It's an air raid type Hal Mummy system. They want to throw the ball, and I think our linebackers with their covering skills and our corners are going to make some noise. So this is why I went with the sleeper I'm picking, which is Carter Stottmeyer, because I think with Shiloh being down and other people having to move around, it's going to put Carter in an advantageous situation to make some plays.
That's a great pick. Great pick.
I'll go next.
Go for it.
This guy's just about that action, and I think he's finally going to get some. Dallan said it right here when he was sitting here. He said he's the guy who's going to finish runs and punish whoever's on the end of it, and that's Micah Welch.
Good pick.
I think that they're whatever. Forget what's happened to this point in the season. I think he's going to get an opportunity tomorrow, and I think he's the type of guy that's just like, if you're going to put the ball in my hand, I'm going to reward you for it. We haven't seen enough breaking the first tackle yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Micah has a great opportunity to do that. And I think against this team, if you are able to do that, you might be able to get some big runs. So I've got Micah having a big game, and included in that big game will be a big run, which to me is a big prediction because I don't know how many times we've actually even seen that in the last 2
20+
years.
yards?
Yeah, I was thinking like a 40-yarder.
Okay. Love it.
I like it. When you talked about his running style, he makes that. Micah may not make the first guy miss, but he's going to make the first guy regret being the first guy. Because he's going to hit you.
Someone's got to show Micah the Lawrence Vickers clip. Let's just make sure that he's seen that.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,000 times before the game.
Yeah. I'm on it.
Can you handle it? Okay.
I'm on it, Jake.
I went with Draylen Miller.
Nice.
Kind of the same thing that you said. We need to have guys who can make people miss the first tackler or run through them, and Draylen can definitely do that. He only had 4, touches in week 1.
Yep.
And for 20-some yards, and it was enough for me to feel very encouraged about the immediate future for Draylen on this team. And I was pretty disappointed that he was not really involved in the game plan much at all last week, especially early. I think that has to change. I hope it does change, and I think that he could be one of the Swiss Army knives that helps unlock this offense.
I love the sleepers.
I love it.
I
I also am stressing about Unc being able to make it on the bus before they leave.
I'm getting up right now.
Okay, you can.
Yeah. I'm getting up right now. I will see you guys in Fort Collins.
Yes, sir.
And great show. Keep it going, knocking out the park. Mi casa, su casa. You guys are lifelong buffs. Tell Shop Solomon to give you the Neely special.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
I see y'all there, man.
We'll see you tomorrow, man.
I would say we'll talk to you later tonight, but no cell service in that city. I would say have a good drive, but there's not paved roads, so we'll just get there safe, man. Same thing I said to Coach Pollock.
And make sure Micah sees that clip.
Yeah.
Do you know which clip it is? All right.
I'll send it to him.
I think we should.
There's also another clip that I should tell Snelson. This one's never even become public.
Okay.
That he needs to show to Micah.
All right. I can't wait to see it after the show.
I'll show it to you. Yeah. I'll show it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the game a bit before we get into questions? We do have to hit this last break too.
I have to say, when I was in elementary school, I actually ditched class more in elementary school than I did in any other level of school.
How do you do that?
Exactly. So there was this transition period, and we had do you know what a Quonset hut is?
No.
It's like one of those round buildings. I think it was like mostly used by the military. Essentially, that's where the band class was. Yeah. See.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
So that's where band was, and so you had to walk outside the school to go from the school to the band class. And in 5th grade, dude, when everyone would do that walk, me and my friend would just tail off, and we would just find an empty classroom and just go sit in there for an hour until the class is over, and then we would just walk back with everyone to the other class because the band teacher never took attendance. So that's what I feel like right now. It's like an empty building. Everyone has gone off to the Quonset hut, and we're just in here hiding out.
I guess it reminds me something similar. My parents always worked late when I was in like elementary school and stuff, so I did the after school program. And sometimes like we'd be some of the last kids there, and so we just kind of running around the empty school all by ourselves, and it's like, oh, so this is what it looks like with no people.
Yep, exactly.
You have any thoughts on this game before we hit this last break? Any other pressing thoughts?
No. Just got paid by Twitter, so thanks to all the Nebraska fans for the engagement.
I don't have mine. Lucky.
Let's do our shout-outs.
Let's do our shout-outs. You got this one.
All right, so got a new anecdote for you guys today.
Let's hear it.
So ever since we got off the bus, Allie has unfortunately been dealing with like some weird like motion sickness, vertigo type stuff. And I've been having to drive her around. Like we went to a doctor and all this stuff. Yesterday I had 2 shows, 2 meetings. I wasn't able to do it, so she had to get a ride from a friend.
Yeah.
And I won't say what brand of car that person drove, but afterwards she was like, "Oh my God, the ride was so bumpy. I felt every single little turn. It felt so terrible. Like I just miss being in the Toyota." So another feather in the cap of Toyota. Smooth ride always. You're not feeling every single bump in the road. It's fantastic, and can't thank them enough for that because it's been kind of a tough week. So shout out to Toyota. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota, Eastern Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota, West and Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
And then shout out to UC Health and their Ready, Set, Co Challenge. Coach Prime, the Chief Motivation Officer for UC Health. He wants to help you and other Coloradans live your healthiest life and help get Colorado back to where it belongs as the healthiest state in the country here. Are you going to be trying to be your healthiest self tomorrow?
I think I'll wait till Monday to be my healthiest self.
Well, on Monday, we'll pick back up really strong, whether it's taking personal time, working out, whatever it is. Hit up our friends over at UC Health to join their Ready, Set, Co Challenge. Link is in the show notes, or go to uchealth.org/Ready, Set, Co.
A couple questions that I'm seeing in the chat. Someone said, what model do you have? I have the RAV4. Planning on upgrading to the 4Runner soon, hopefully very soon. Someone else also said, where's Uncle Neely? And I love that. Like, you must just open up the app, turn on the show, and immediately ask the question because Uncle Neely's been gone.
There is an open mic, too.
Yeah, Uncle Neely's been gone for like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
He's on the bus, though. They're on their way to Fort Collins.
Someone drove on the field yesterday.
Bro, we got to go look at that after this.
Yeah.
No teachers around, so we can go explore. Yeah, man, someone's got to tell Justin Michael to chill out.
Oh, Justin. Love you, brother.
That is insane, by the way. And have you seen the videos? Bro, this man was literally Grand Theft Auto. Like, call up Scott Corden or whatever his name is.
Scott Corder or Steve Corder.
Yeah. Because this was the most Grand Theft Auto thing that's ever happened in Boulder. Bro, I went onto the Boulder Reddit.
Yeah.
There's like 17 different angles of people videoing this guy throughout the entire city, dude. He's literally driving through all of Boulder, missing a tire, just sparks flying everywhere. There's like the cops like tried to set up like a barrier. He goes right through it.
Oh my God.
And the fact that he even like, I don't even know, how did he make it to the field? That's what is blowing my mind.
That's what's wild to me too, because the Ralphie gate is like always closed. The gate like next to it between the Champions Center and the Del Ward Touchdown Club is usually closed constantly.
Yep. Oh, he drove right through a gate. Like, that's what I want to go see after this. Because there's 2 gates before the field, and you see all the damage that's on that car. Now, a lot of that was done as he's just like running over trees and fire hydrants and shit all around Boulder. But he definitely wrecked that thing, because to get from the road into the field, you got to go through 2 iron gates.
Oh, yeah, because there's the one on the... I forgot. Yes.
2
Damn.
iron gates to get onto the field.
And he's like on the sideline, too. He like took a whole joyride, basically, or like got
there's
to
an
half the
entrance,
sideline.
like, you know, when we go into the Dow Ward, not the Champion Center, how we go there, there's another car entrance above that. So he went into that, which, again, absolutely wild that he even got up there. Like, to me, this man was clearly not sane.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, he had to have been thinking, I want to go onto Folsom Field.
Oh, absolutely. That was like his final destination. Like,
That's crazy.
like in GTA, you always somehow end up at the airport. His was Folsom Field.
That is so crazy.
Oh, man. Wild.
Yeah, and I saw a new angle of that car, and that tire, or lack thereof, got deep down into the field. I feel for the grounds crew.
Kind of fucked up the field, man.
Thank God they don't have a game this week, because that would have caused a real problem.
Yeah, and thank God we have one of the best grounds crews out there, too.
Absolutely.
Anything else you got before we hit these questions?
Let's talk to our people. How's the chat today, Alyssa? Pretty good. Hey, let's
Hell
go.
yeah,
We're
let's
one day
go.
away from the game. The vibes have turned.
Turn up, chat. You want to pass that to her?
Oh, there you go. New guest alert.
Yep. Here's the FDP.
Okay. Let me get to these. What backs should we expect to see tomorrow?
All of them. Charlie, Isaiah, Micah, and Draylon mixed in.
We have an update from Uncle Neely.
Yeah.
He was the last one to the bus. But he wasn't late.
Okay.
And the sprinter wasn't ready to go yet either. So he says, I'm good.
Okay.
Because the bus, this is good news for this team, that Unc was the last one there.
Oh, absolutely.
The bus is scheduled. It's on the schedule. It says bus loading starts at 2:15 and the bus leaves at 2:30.
Yep.
It's 2:13 right now. Unc texted us at 2:11 saying he was the last one there. The team has certainly figured out Coach Prime.
I love it.
If you are not early, you're late. But this is early to be early.
Sorry, Alyssa, just one more thing. What was your takeaways from just hearing Dallan and Nikhai talk, just on the vibe of the team and all that right now?
I mean, Dallan is very also just about that action.
He's unflappable. He reminds me of like a stoic, just like...
Yes. He's very not too high, not too low, just kind of dialed. Nikhai, man, I
He's
would
awesome.
hire him to lead our company today. Like, that's how confident I am in just like the way that he carries himself and the way that he goes about his business.
Yep.
I absolutely loved what he was saying about film. You know, that's my probably favorite thing that any player can ever say to me. And that was unprompted. He just said, like, why would you not prepare for the test? Thank you. But that gives me confidence, and just his demeanor really gives me confidence. It's you brought it up. I never would have thought about it, but these are two guys who have played in Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dallan's not going to be on the field, but like Nikhai Hill-Green is not going to be intimidated, and I don't think he was last week.
No.
Because that was normal for him. But like,
Well, he's probably played in that stadium too.
probably. But this is, it's calming to have a guy like that on your team who's going to be out there leading your defense tomorrow, as you go into a game like this, which is going to be very, I don't want to call it hostile, because last week was hostile.
Yeah.
This week, it's gonna, I always talk about it. It's like you shoot with a medicine ball, you shoot a 3 with a medicine ball, and then you
Right.
can shoot a basketball after that. It feels light as hell. That's what this is going to feel like for them. Like,
I
they're
hope
going to be
so.
like, oh, this is, and then when they get back home next week, they're going to be like, wow, I forgot how great this was.
Yeah.
But this will almost feel like a home game, I think, for them. Given the fact that stadium holds 42,000,
I think so, yes.
and I'm thinking at least 10,000 Buffs fans. So you're going to have loud support on your side. and you're going to only be going up against 1/3 of the amount of fans that you dealt with last week.
41.
But regardless, I just think having Nikhai, who's seen it all, out there on the field with this team is really calming, and just the way that he carries himself is really impressive.
Yep, I agree, man. I think before the season started, if I had to bet on one transfer to come in and just be completely as advertised, if not more, it probably would have been Nikhai Hill-Green. I could not say, again, how impressed I was that first time we met him, that Zoom call we did, that show, it was like in May, I think it was. And immediately, you and I were both like, we got one.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly the first thing I said afterwards. Excited for him, man. And it's... I really do see a lot of parallels between him and Cam. And, you know, I don't even know if I want to open this Pandora's box, but I will because I just talk about what's on my mind. There's been so much conversation about the running backs and, you know, this guy needs to get out there and this and that and the other. And, like I said the other day, I agree with that. Sometimes you just got to see what a guy looks like when he gets out there. Cam, perfect example of that last year. He just gets out there and makes plays. Nikhai, last week, he just gets out there and makes plays. And I think that, you know, that's why I picked Micah for my offensive guys. Like, some guys are just dogs. And, like, that's what it comes down to, I think. Like, you can be a dog who also is amazing in practice every single day, but also there's just guys who are just like, yeah, you give me that rock on the field when the bullets are live, and I'm going to be a different animal.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's get to the chat, the Toyota chat. Super chats, and let's get out of here. I'm hungry.
You're going to get the Neely special?
So I might.
I might. AW says, will Nikhai be the green dot on defense?
Good question.
I'd imagine that's still Levante just because of continuity and the fact that he's been on the field for more snaps going back to week 1 right now. But
so was it Levante week 1? Or was it Trevor?
I'd imagine it was Levante. I honestly can't remember even looking for the green dot. I'll try to remember to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Question from Mr. Hillsman says, since Pollock is an offensive analyst, does he have any input on when to not to run the ball?
No. Well, I don't want to say that definitively.
I mean, an analyst is not... It's an analyst. You analyze. It's not really a play caller, maybe some sort of game plan assistance, but... I don't think he's going in there, you know, talking to Flea and Coach Prime and Shermer and being like, this is what we have to do.
I haven't asked, so I don't know exactly how it works on this team, but here's how it normally works. The offensive coordinator is going to call the play 99% of the time. What happens sometimes for some teams is 4th and 1 comes around. Everyone looks at the head coach. It's their decision whether you go for it. And some head coaches will say, go for it and run this.
Yeah.
Other coaches will say, go for it, run it, go for it, pass it. Or they'll just say, go for it and leave it all in the hands of the offensive coordinator. But other than that, it's almost exclusively going to be the offensive coordinator calling the plays. And they probably have someone they trust who is giving them ideas.
Right.
The same way that like you or I would do that for each other is like, hey, should we go to sleeper picks here or whatever? Like there's going to be someone around them most of the game that's like, hey, just so you know, we've passed it 6 times in a row, or just so you know, we're averaging like 5.7 yards per carry out of pistol, like little things like that, which influence play calling without, and so that could be Pollock, but. In most cases, the offensive coordinator, especially on a team where the head coach is defensive-minded, is calling almost all of the plays.
Question from 5280 Ivan says, who gets the game ball Saturday night?
Romy Bean.
Travis Hunter.
All right.
This team hasn't seen 4 quarters of Travis Hunter.
It's
going to be a difference. There's going to be a big difference.
Man, we might see a whole different animal. What if there's like another level of Travis?
Oh my God. I just need him catching like a long catch down the sideline or something over Henry Blackburn or shaking that guy out of his shoes. I need to see it.
Yes. In my veins.
Jacob wants to know, RK, where did you get that shirt?
This shirt, one of my favorite companies that does this, it's called Dreamathon. I think they make the the cleanest kind of shirts in this style. I don't even know what you call this, but yeah, Dreamathon. And what's funny is I never saw it promoted anywhere. Like I don't even know if Jimmy ever tweeted about it.
Yeah.
Or posted about it or anything. I was just on their site because I like their site and just scrolling through, and I was like, "There's a Jimmy Horn shirt!" Like instant cop.
It's fire.
Bo2 wants to know over or under how many times we run the ball.
Oh man. Okay, so it's been 25. I think Scott said yesterday. 25 runs through 2 games.
I've got this here. Hold on.
Well, that's right.
I know, but I've got a whole.
Whoa, you got docs?
So in Shermer's time as OC or as play caller, the Buffs have averaged 16.5 designed runs to running backs or wide receivers per game.
Not enough.
You want the splits between the previous play caller or not? Or
No. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sean Lewis ran the ball on average to running backs and wide receivers 20.25 times per game. So at least 4 more runs per game.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have this, but did that go down incrementally during his time as play caller? I have to imagine that they ran it the most early in the season.
28 attempts for running backs against TCU, 21 versus
That's like
Nebraska last
normal.
year. 31 against USC, and then it went down from there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think they just stopped believing in it midway through last season. And something's got to happen for them to find that belief again. And I kind of liked what Pat Shermer said yesterday, which is like sometimes you just have to do it.
Yep.
Even if you don't have the look. Because at this point, it almost feels like teams are almost trapping you into passing it by showing you boxes that you don't want to run into and then just dropping out of it and bringing pressure. So just get it going, figure it out.
Yep.
28 runs, that feels like an almost impossible number to hit. So to answer the question for what's the over under, Jake, I'm going to set it at 18.5.
I like that line. I think
which
that
side
would
are you
be.
taking?
I want to take the over.
Okay.
I really do, but screw it. I'll take the over. First play of the game. Do you think it's a run or a pass?
You know what? There might not be a better time in the game to call a play action pass.
I like that answer.
Also, someone said this is bootleg. It's really not. Like usually the players are working. Like I'm pretty sure all the shirts that Travis wears every single week on the field are from this company. I think
They all look in that same style.
Yeah. So usually they're working in conjunction with him. I don't think that this was done behind Jimmy's back.
I seriously doubt it.
I'm Heaven's Demon says, do we get to see Buell and Wiggins tomorrow?
I can't answer that question truthfully because I don't know. I haven't been at practice, but the depth is going to be tested across the field, I think, for the Buffs on both sides. They have to. So many injuries.
Yeah. I think you'll see anyone that you think you might see, especially on the defensive line.
Pete Nice wants to know, what do you guys think about Tyler Brown at center?
He's not going to play center.
It's a button that you could press eventually if you still need to keep pressing. Let's hope, like you said, I don't think that's the button they're going to press tomorrow. Actually, I know that's not the button they're going to press tomorrow, but let's hope that that what they do tomorrow works and they can stick with that. But yeah, you could try Tyler at center. The biggest problem that I've seen at the center position right now is getting pushed around. Tyler's not getting pushed around.
No.
With that being said, you cannot make too much of what Nebraska's interior defensive line did to this offensive line. Those guys are just really good.
There should just be some progress just because CSU isn't as good, like you said, on the defensive line. They only have 1 sack. I don't have
on the season.
Yeah, on the season. I don't have their TFL numbers, but when you have a guy like Mo Camara on your team, that literally just changes how teams are going to scheme against you completely. And now without that, I mean, I'm sure they've got some talent for sure, but they're obviously not an NFL pass rusher, I don't think, on that pass rush right now. Things should look better from a pass pro standpoint just because of that factor.
Yep, and hopefully there's an improvement factor and a scheme factor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Coach K wants to know, do we know what the safety rotation is?
We've kind of seen it. Looks like Shiloh and Cam, first team, and it looks like Savion Carter, second team.
Yep. I have a good feeling about Carter tomorrow.
There was like no real drop off from when Shiloh was out and he came in the game. And this was a guy who Coach Prum obviously trusted as a true freshman last year, season derailed by an injury.
Yeah.
I feel really good about Carter this weekend and moving forward.
Yep.
Okay, last one is a super chat from East Coast Kev. He says, I feel good about this week. I know I lost a lot of money last week, but we'll figure it out. Can't give up after 2 games.
Bet responsibly, my friends.
That's a great super chat, though.
It is.
Thank you, Kev. All right. That is it. Hayes in the barn. Now the boys just got to go out there and play.
One more sleep and one shitty drive. Not as shitty as that guy who ended up on Folsom, though.
Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow for post-game show. Hopefully it's not at midnight again.
No promises. It's going to be a shit show to try and get that thing started.
It's a 5:30 start here, though.
That's true. So 5:30. Let's hope there's not 27 penalties and 2 overtimes.
We can only hope, man.
It's kind of crazy to think that last year's game started at 8 o'clock, and then went to 2 overtime. What did we get home? Was it 4 o'clock that we got home?
It was so late, man. I remember laying down and the sun was coming up. And I was just
so
like,
I think it was like 4:15.
Yeah.
That won't happen. But also, we have a long drive home afterwards.
We do, yep.
Let's hope we're celebrating.
We'll
We
survive.
will be celebrating.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.